Hello, philosophers. My philosophical chops are juicy. I'm just chomping at the bit to get the Matrix 4 on the table. It is almost here. It releases December 2021. So keep that on your calendar. Keep it in mind. In the meantime, we've got the trailer to digest. So in this video, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and just give you a little bit of background as much as I know. And then also just look at the trailer with you and stop it every once in a while, give my sort of reaction to it from both what's going on and then also some of the philosophical implications of what's going on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into looking at the trailer. And the first thing, before we even jump into it, I just want you to notice that the town itself, the Matrix in the town, is beautiful. It doesn't have that green overlay, which the original series had. Why? Well, if you recall, at the end of Matrix 3 Revolutions, we got a situation where Neo completed the mission, and he brokered a truce between the humans and the machines, and that brought out a new era, and things changed in the Matrix. So that's why when we start this, when you look at the trailer, it's like, whoa, that doesn't look like the Matrix, but yet we are in the Matrix, folks. So without further ado, let's get this going, and I'll just occasionally stop.
Thomas, you seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
Notice his blue glasses. Neil Patrick Harris is wearing blue glasses. Blue pill, stay in the Matrix. You know, live in the comfortable delusion. Don't come to know the truth. Red pill, right? So this motif runs throughout the trailer. It's really interesting.
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy?
We don't use that word in here.
Oh, I love that. Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here. Now, there's all kinds of speculation online about Neil Patrick Harris's character because he's his therapist, right? Neo is having to go to therapy to sort of process what he went through, and somehow Neo got rebooted or uploaded, or it's not quite clear yet how Neo's back in the Matrix when he died in 3. But so there, just keep that in mind. He's back in the Matrix, even though he died in 3. And so there's speculation that the machines came and actually did work on him to restore him back to health, even after he had died. But the interesting thing is, notice his glasses, right? You got the blue glasses. And so he's potentially an agent of the Matrix in order to what? Well, it'll become clear as we go a little bit further that ultimately Neo is trying to forget what he experienced. But Neil Patrick Harris might be an agent working with the machines in the Matrix to sort of pacify Neo and help him forget what happened in order for them to potentially break the truce and take advantage of humans. And here's a little tidbit. I don't know if we can get to it. Okay, let's see if we can see it. Up right there. Okay, there it is. That is potentially, I don't know if you remember the Merovingian. He was a broker of information. He believed in causality, and more specifically, he believed in causal determinism. So see that gaudy ring? I don't know if you remember, but the Merovingian wore gaudy rings, and he just always was very decked out. So there is the possibility that the Merovingian returns and plays a key role in this Matrix 4. And here we see somebody snapping, and that person has sort of the same kind of looking quality of outfit and accessories that the Merovingian had. So we might see a return of the Merovingian. Now let's jump back in.
Am I crazy?
We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met? One.
Okay, so there you have Trinity and Neo meeting again in the Matrix, but neither of them recognizes each other. And you may recall, remember the scene with the architect where the architect was talking about all the different iterations of the Matrix and how Neo's an anomaly, and that he would always choose when he had the choice to go back to Zion and be with the humans instead of going back into the Matrix. But remember, Neo did the unexpected, and instead of going back to Zion, he went back into the Matrix because of love, because he wanted to be with Trinity or to save her. So he went back into the Matrix, rebooted in one last time, and then had that epic battle with Mr. Smith, Mr. Anderson. Unfortunately, I don't think he's not in this movie, unfortunately. But Mr. Smith, you remember, had that they had that huge battle, and they sort of both went into each other, and then Neo went and got plugged into the source, and then it exploded, and so on. So somehow they're both back in the Matrix, Neo and Trinity, even though even though Neo died. And then you have them meeting again, and they don't know each other. Well, here we have the blue pills. And as we're going to see here in a minute, Neo is taking these in order to forget. But is it really Neo deciding to take them because he wants to forget? Or again, is this the machines placating Neo so that the anomaly doesn't sort of cause a riff? Or maybe they're working on a plot to take back over the humans, and they don't want Neo being an active agent. Let's jump back in.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother...
Now, see this image right here? This is really interesting. Neo's in the Matrix, and everybody is a slave. You remember, the people in the Matrix are being held in goo, and they are just ultimately battery fuel for the machine city and powering the machines in their world. And again, we're back at the Matrix, and look at now what they're using to keep people sort of deluded and not question their reality that, you know, in the Matrix. Look at, they got smartphones, tablets, and it looks like they're looking, I don't know what that in the corner is, but everybody's on their phones. So think about that. Think about the use of our phones. I mean, I have mine right here, and I've noticed I've started using this way more than I would like to, right? You go to Facebook or Instagram or somewhere, and you get that hit of dopamine. Oh, somebody liked my post. Oh, well, that's what the machines are using, cell phones, tablets, to keep people placated and to not have them question their reality.
gives you, don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice.
Oh, so again, here we have the returning motif. Well, first of all, we have the Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit, classic song. And it's talking about, you know, Alice in Wonderland, how she goes on her adventures and she takes the magic mushroom and then she goes on her adventure. Well, Neo does the reverse. He takes the red pill and then he wakes up. So he was in the fantasy world, took the red pill, and then woke up to what was really going on. And here you have, again, notice the motif. You have the blue pills. Now we have the messenger of the white rabbit. And notice she's wearing reddish glasses, right? So you have Neil Patrick Harris wearing blue glasses. You have this messenger from, you may recall, remember, Neo had to follow the white rabbit in order to ultimately find Morpheus and then get offered the chance to know the truth and so on. So here again, we have Neo deluded and being placated, taking a bunch of blue pills to wipe his memory or forget what had happened. And now he's going to be offered again a role to play in whatever is going on in this new Matrix.
When she's 10 feet tall.
Oh, that's weird too. Look at that. Who is that? So I don't know how Neo got rebooted or whose body he's in, but that's kind of crazy. When he looks in the mirror, that's what he sees. Oh, there it is. Now, this is potentially a new Morpheus. It's we don't have Lawrence Fishburne. We don't have the original Morpheus, but it's possible that Fishburne evolved as a program, and this is the new Morpheus. And look, he's got the red pill.
Fly.
Time to fly. Here it is. White Rabbit. It's time to remember the truth.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me. No?
So take a look at that. Woo! The Machine City, even though there's a truce in the war against humans, they're really strong. Look at this. So we get Trinity booting back into the Matrix. Here she is. You saw just a minute ago a picture of her being jacked in. So that's her in the real world. I guess a new Zion. And then here she is actually doing her battle. And Neo still has all his powers. He goes into a battle with sort of the new Morpheus. So it's back on, it looks like.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Wow. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Let me just wrap up with a few things. First of all, I think you can analogize this. There are many different philosophical things you could pull out of it. But one thing you could say is that this is, again, a way of Neo, again, exerting his influence in the program, in the way that the programming goes. Resurrections, it's like, rising from the dead. So again, Neo died and he's somehow resurrected, and he's going to play an important part in the next part of the Matrix. Now, one way to see the juxtaposition between Matrix reality and real reality is in terms of Plato's cave. So in Plato's Allegory of the Cave, you may recall the people that are prisoners down below. Their whole lives, they've been fed a steady stream of these images, these shadows on a wall that's projected to him by people behind him playing with puppets and so on. And the people staring at the wall believe that the shadows are the real thing. And this analogy is in terms of our perception, in terms of our senses. So when you're in the matrix, your sense reality will tell you that everything's fine, unless you have an anomaly or there's a glitch. But most of the time, the program runs fine. And sense-wise, you think that that is what's real. Now, you may recall that Plato says, well, people who have been there the whole time, if you were to drag them up out of the cave and they come into the light of day, most of them are going to not believe that this is reality, right? They're going to be like, no. And they're going to want to go back down into the cave to what they know, which is the comfortable delusion. But the philosopher kings are the people that seek to escape from mere sense perception and to go up into the intellect. And for Plato, the sun represents the form of the good. It's what gives goodness and beauty and truth to all things. So as they go up out of the cave, as someone is brave enough to go up out of the cave, and then there'll be this adjustment period where they're finally coming to see things, and then they can finally see daylight and see things for the way they really are in reality. Well, again, we have Neo. He went through and he saved the humans from the programs, but now you have him getting sucked back down into the cave, in essence, right? The Matrix. And now you have Neo yet again resurrecting, that is, coming up out of the cave and back into reality in order to fight for something. I think there's a major love story, of course, with him and Trinity. So we know that's part of it. Part of it is him coming back to be reunited with Trinity. But there's something else going on, and that could be seen as trying to achieve some form of enlightenment or rising from the dead into true life, which is reality. And so those are just thoughts off the top of my head. It's fun to analogize it to Plato's writing, especially in the Republic, the Allegory of the Cave. And I cannot wait. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are some of your takeaways? There was a lot there. I tried to stop and start and kind of unpack a few things from you, for you, that I've read about and that I'm wondering about. But what do you think about Matrix 4? Are you excited for it? What do you think will be the big philosophical issues? What parts of the Matrix are you still wondering about? And I look forward to actually doing some kind of live stream the day before the Matrix and talking through some of the philosophy of the Matrix. There was a great book that was written after the first Matrix by a number of prominent philosophers. So it'd be fun to look at a few of those issues regarding free will, regarding ethics, so on. There's a lot to unpack. And epistemology, skepticism, how much can we know? Can we have knowledge of the external world? So on. So there are a number of great philosophical issues. So we'll consider that. Stay tuned and keep on just taking the red pill if you can. That is, keep searching for truth. Keep living the philosophical life. I'll see you next time.